What's good, everybody? This is the Cap Control Podcast. I'm your boy Antonio, and I got my dog right here, Braylon. Say what's up to the people, Braylon.
What it do, what it do. Good morning, everybody. This is these hours before I even wake up. But I'm happy to be here, man. Second one. I appreciate all the support on the first podcast. We're getting better every day. And we're going to the top. So it's good to see you, my guy.
It's good to see you too in this morning, man. It's really early, man. It's 11:05 in the morning. If you can't tell, that was sarcasm. My dog be waking up at like 3 o'clock, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. But like I said, this is Cap Control Podcast, or we only state facts and we leave the cap at home. You know what I'm saying? So first thing we're gonna get into, because over this weekend, everybody watched the Christmas Day games, and some families it's probably a tradition to watch the Christmas Day games. So not only do we have NBA, but we have NFL. And I'm not gonna lie, I didn't catch them all, but I caught some highlights, things like that. If I missed the games, and we'll go over those things. So I think we won't kick it off with the NFL, because I think we probably both saw the least of the NFL. Well, I think you saw the least of the NFL. I saw more of the NFL, and I probably saw less of the NBA. You saw more of the NBA. So I think we'll just kick it off with the NFL. Because it was a bad day for the Steelers, to be a Steelers fan. But I mean, to kick it off right, I'm gonna refer to my notes. Kicking it off right in the AFC. I mean, we had the Bills. I believe the Bills beat the Patriots, if I'm not mistaken. What I'm saying? They're 9-6 in the AFC East. We got the Patriots at 9-6 as well. We got the Dolphins at 7-7. The Dolphins might actually make the playoffs because they got that dub last night. I thought it was pretty crazy because I'm saying everybody was down on Tua and all that stuff. But the Dolphins are about to make the playoffs. It's definitely a possibility. They're in the hunt. The Jets are ass, but everybody knows that. They're 4-11. They ain't making no playoffs. And AFC West, we got the Chiefs at 11-4. They clinched that division, of course. What do you know? It's the damn Chiefs. They had that rocky start, but everybody was, Patrick Mahomes this, Patrick Mahomes that. I mean, granted, he has like 80 interceptions, but it's fine. It's fine. They got their shit together. They still the Chiefs. They got their shit together. And the Chargers, also in that division, at 8-7. They're still in the hunt. The Raiders as well at 8-7, and the Broncos at 7-8. And then we move over to the North, AFC North, where the boys the Steelers are. At the top of that division is the Bengals. That's very weird to say. Very weird to say. They're 9-6, but that man Joe Burrow is hooping. And I know it's football, but I say hooping. I don't give a damn what sport it is. You playing good, you are a hoop. So Joe Burrow balled out. The man threw for over 500 yards. Higgins had an insane game. Chase had an insane game. And you said we share the same notes, correct?
Yes, we do have the same notes.
Okay. So if you want to, when I'm done reading off the AFC division, you want to read off the NFC?
We can do that. Let's go. I was like, we could read that.
Because we got we could do that. So the Ravens are coming in right after the Bengals at 8-7. They're still in hunt, and our Steelers 7-7-1. Tragically, there is a possibility that these teams get in and make the playoffs, but some things have to go our way. We have to probably win out and have some teams lose. We'll see what happens. And the Browns, the lonely Browns, at 7-8, and then we got the AFC South to cap it off. The Titans at 10-5, Colts at 9-6, Texans at 4-11, and the trash ass Jaguars at 2-13. It's going to be an interesting situation to see what happens with Deshaun Watson. We're not going to get into that, at least not today, though.
What you mean, bro? The man ain't played all season, so I mean, I think.
But why didn't he play?
I mean, I think we all know that. I don't think we really got to dive into that. If y'all want to hear about that, let me know in the comments.
We can talk about it. Yeah.
But it's just like let's see, they 4-11, as you got right here on the notes. They already out the playoffs. Ain't no point in him come back to play. I don't think he gonna play. Let's see, they played 17 games this year, right?
Mm.
I mean, you're looking at this right now. They only got 2 games left, so it's already wraps and everything. But to
So, I
tap
mean, you
into
can go
the,
ahead and round off the NFC.
yeah, that's what I was gonna do, my guy. But number one seed in the NFC is the Packers, which I'm not surprised by that. They clinched a division, the NFC North. They do have Aaron Rodgers and the best wide receiver in the league. I think nobody wants to argue with that. If anybody does, let me know. Don't see nobody. Okay. Number two, very surprised by this, but they have beat a few people. The Cowgirls. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry if there's any, Cowboy fans that watch this. It's no disrespect to
There has to
y'all.
be.
I his way, there's disrespect. My way, y'all the Cowgirls, because he said, and I hear other people say it, and y'all always say it's y'all year like the Vols. So, I'm over that. Then you get to the 3 seed. It's the Rams. I watched the Rams play against the Titans, and it seems like the Rams got a defense with Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald, and also the Rams just got OBJ, which I want to kind of tap into OBJ. The man OBJ, let's see, I think he had 6 touchdowns whenever he was with the Browns. All that time, the 3 seasons that he played, he don't play with the Rams for like 4 or 6 games. I'm not sure, but something like that, and has 4 touchdowns.
I
That's
mean,
crazy.
we could have touched on the Browns being Baker Mayfield being ass, you know. But
You know,
I decided not to say that. I decided to not say that because people were trying to say that Big Ben was the worst quarterback in that division, but didn't have Baker Mayfield just have 4 interceptions? I'll just leave that there. Go ahead, continue, brother.
yeah, yeah. And then number 4, the Bucks. They have to go on their team. I'm surprised they're not the number one seed, but obviously they got their own problems or injuries or maybe COVID, which we won't get into COVID later for sure. Maybe COVID is messing up the Bucks. But
Well,
I know the playoffs come around that the Bucks are going to go ahead and get the job done and probably end up getting back to the Super Bowl, most likely. That's what
they
it
had a
seems
couple of
like.
injuries, I believe. I think it was Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. I believe they went down with injury, and then of course Antonio Brown was suspended because of his fake COVID card, allegedly. But he came back
Hmm.
and was balling. So that's all they really had. That's the only real star wide receiver Brady has to rely on right now is Antonio Brown. So that's why they got a bumpy start, and not to mention COVID keeping people out.
Definitely. So I definitely feel that. I mean, injuries, COVID, it hit everybody. I don't want to say it makes it fair, but it hit everybody. So everybody go through it in some type of way. So it's like it just became the new normal at this point. And going on to the next team, the number 5 team in the NFC, the Cardinals. Them boys started off so hot. I ain't seen a game from them ever since. I see the highlights from Kyler Murray. The man to me is amazing, even though he's like on like probably a little bit taller than me. But that man be skipping, be juking dudes. Like I see why they can't tackle him because he be gone and he's so little. I definitely like them as a team. I don't think they defense all that, but I do like them as a team. They were playing good defense early in the season, but it seems like they fell off, or maybe they've been playing some better comp. But that's how I feel about them. 16 49ers. I ain't really got much to say about the 49ers besides that I got Debo Samuel on my fantasy team, and the man is a beast. Runs the ball, can throw the ball. Obviously, he's a wide receiver. I don't think the 49ers would be much without that man because they got Garoppolo as their quarterback. And I thought they said he was supposed to be the next Tom Brady. I don't see no Tom Brady skills in that man
No, I
at all.
definitely that's a stretch, but I do remember them saying that. That's more than a stretch,
Right,
actually.
bro. And then moving on to the next team is the Eagles. Eagles with Jalen Hurts. And really about the Eagles, Eagles is one of those teams that I'm pretty sure they come on Fox, and I don't watch Fox. So I'm gonna be honest with you. I really genuinely do not know much about the Eagles. All I know is that they got Jalen Hurts and they got Devontae Smith, and obviously they 8-7. I don't think that duo doing much for them, but there's still time. Maybe the Eagles don't have a defense. I know an Eagles fan personally, so maybe he can tell me more. Maybe I have him on a podcast because he knows a lot of things. But yeah, moving on to the next one, the Saints. I know they miss Drew Brees. I know they do. I know they miss Drew Brees and Michael Thomas. They have to because I know
I
they
mean,
down bad. I watched them get beat by the Dolphins, and I was surprised by that.
they were stuck with Jameis Winston, and he tore his ACL. And I mean, they went through a plethora of quarterbacks, and they got Books now, just a rookie. So it's a position for him to be in. But as you can see, they got beat by the Dolphins last night, and the Dolphins are doing good. That's crazy.
Really is, bro. Really is. All right, off to the next team, the Vikings. Now the Vikings is one of those teams that I truly feel like if they had a defense, they would probably be higher up because they got a really good offense. The offensive line really ain't all that, but like they got a good running back. They got two good wide receivers. Kirk Cousins, that man's starting to look old, but he usually get the job done. So, what you get from Kirk is the best you're gonna get, That's how I feel about it. And then on to the next team, the Falcons. These last few teams, I ain't got much to say about them, to be honest with you. The Falcons, I feel bad for Atlanta. I'm glad they got Trey Young in them. I'm really
Yeah,
glad they got Trey Young in them because I ain't gonna lie to you. Matt Ryan low key be putting up numbers sometimes, but I don't think he got any help outside of like Calvin Ridley if he's healthy, and then Kyle Pitts, tight end, who's really a wide receiver. So I feel bad for the city of Atlanta. Some of the greatest rappers come from there, but they down bad in NFL football. And I don't know when they're gonna come out of that until they start drafting better people, or maybe trade for some better dudes or sign some dudes. But right now they down bad, so they just gonna live with that. Ever since that 28-3, they ain't been the same.
yeah,
So and
that's
then
true.
moving on to the last team because I stopped counting the numbers on the rest of the teams because they're already out the playoffs. Last team I'm gonna talk about is Washington football team. And I ain't even gonna talk about their record. Why is they named the football team? Like that's basic. And I know everybody's probably saying like, "Oh yeah, that's basic." That's really basic. Like they could have been the Washington Billikens or the Washington Bidens. I don't know, but shoot, bro,
Oh
like,
man, not the
like
Vikings.
the football team. Like, yeah, that's like me saying, "Yeah, I play for the 11 in football team." Like that's just basic. But
I mean,
that's all I have to say.
they were named the Bidens, bro. They probably wouldn't even have any wins this season. So it's probably just better off if they're the Washington football team. But that's neither here nor there. That's a story for another day.
Definitely
But
so.
just rounding off those divisions, I'm pretty sure you can see, which teams are which divisions are better. I mean, there's multiple teams that have clinched playoff spots, clinched their divisions in the NFC, and there's a lot of people just still in the hunt in the AFC. So we're just gonna have
Hmm.
to see how it plays out. We'll definitely keep track of it, and keep everybody updated. Keep talking about it because it's gonna get interesting for sure, for sure. Um, but just to transition over to our little segment that we like to do, cap or fact. You know, what you got for us today, my guy? What you got for us?
Say less, say less. Since we just got done talking about the NFL, I feel like we should just go ahead for my first question for cap or fact. Hopefully, none of the people that live around me don't feel some type of way about this. For our answers, are the Titans overrated? Cap or fact?
Well, at this point, the Titans' record, I think, says a lot more than their actual play on the field. Because what I mean by that is the fact that you know, first of all, their offense relied heavily on Derrick Henry, and there is
Very
no
true.
more Derrick Henry. You got Ryan Tannehill, which I mean, honestly, I mean, he's doing a lot better than I think people expected. But
Mm-hmm.
playing in Tennessee, he got that big contract and everything. But I mean, he's a little above average quarterback. I feel like. I mean, you're not getting any play out of him like you're getting out of Matthew Stafford. You're not getting play out of him like you do from Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, the top dogs. I feel like he's just a little bit above average. So, you know, to answer your
Mm-hmm.
question, it's definitely a fact. I feel like that Tennessee is definitely overrated. I mean, obviously they'll get into the playoffs and everything, but will they really make any noise? I might have to see. I might have to see it to believe it because I really don't see who they're beating. I mean, honestly, the other teams is gonna make the playoffs, especially with COVID going on. You know, there's always players out because they test positive and all those type of things. I mean, maybe they could rally things together because one bright spot, I think their biggest bright spot outside of like Derrick Henry is probably their coach. Um, I like their coach a lot. He's a player's coach and former Steeler. I respect that dude a lot. So, and I think he has a great. His football is almost like a chess match, and he's just great at doing that. So, you know, I'd say they're definitely overrated. I mean, if people were rating them that high to begin with, you know. So, what do you think about your own comment?
Um, when I sit here and think about it, bro, because I don't know who came up with the question. Are the Titans overrated? I don't think they're overrated. I think the Titans are truly who they are. Like, they did have Derrick Henry at one point, and I mean, Derrick is definitely a beast. He's the focal point of the offense. But one of the problems that I feel like the Titans have is that offensive line. The offensive line be hit or miss sometimes. And without Derrick breaking 30 tackles, not really much that line can do because Julio's, and I love Julio. He just got to the team, but the man can't stay healthy. And then, I mean, honestly, AJ Brown's good, but it's like I don't think AJ Brown's gonna carry the Titans' whole receiving corps. Like they can double team AJ Brown and AJ's. I don't want to say he's gonna be on clamps, but AJ's not gonna do much. He needs that other guy to kind of help him get more open. That's why him and Corey Davis kind of work, even though Corey Davis really wasn't all that. Like Corey Davis took a little bit of that coverage away. And AJ was going crazy when he had Corey. Now Julio's here and Julio in the lineup, he out the lineup.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and say that, for cap or fact, I think it's cap that they're overrated. I don't think they're overrated. I think they are who they are. Like you said, when it comes playoff time, I'm not sure who they're gonna beat. Like so that's something that you truly gotta think about. But honestly, bro, I'm gonna switch it up. I'm gonna go ahead and go to my second question, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, that's fine with me. I mean, I like your answer though because you said they are who they are. I mean, that's kind of the core of what I was trying to get to, but you know, I just if there is anybody that thinks they're amazing, then they're definitely overrated. But I haven't heard it. But go ahead.
All right. Now this one, I've been sitting on this one for a while because I've been watching a few videos and watching the man play on TV. So with the way that LaFlop, aka LeBron, aka LaPolitics, the way
The
he's
GM.
playing currently, um, is he the GOAT still? Cap or fact? Because he's
Well,
in what is it, year 19, and
he
he's
about to be
averaging his
37 too.
career average.
I mean, is he the GOAT? That's your question. Is that statement cap a fact? That's your question.
Hmm.
Uh, when it comes to the GOAT, listen. When it comes to GOAT, and it's particularly weird for me because I used to be a huge LeBron fan. Um, I did used to call this man a GOAT and everything, but you know, he showed his true colors to me.
Hmm.
No, and I just been done with him. So I mean, he could retire tomorrow. I could care less. I think it might be better for the NBA. Because when he was sitting out the games, them ratings went up. You can't say LeBron carries the ratings because when he was out in the games without him, the ratings were up. And anybody that wants to question that, you can check those stats. Um, but with that being said, I think you guys know what my answer is. He's no goat. You know, on the court, I'm always respect his play. Although he does flop a lot, he cries a lot, things like that. And I know the Bron Sexers is gonna be mad. They're gonna be big mad. But it's just the
Hmm.
facts. And when it comes to the GOAT conversation and you're supposed to be the best player in the world, I feel like you're supposed to be able to carry your team, even if you're down a player or two. Like, what was it? It was in the playing game? No, it wasn't in the playing game. I remember they beat the Warriors. He hit that three, but it was in the series against Phoenix. Correct? Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah,
Are
they
you
went
talking about
out.
last season?
Yeah, last season. I mean, you're
Hmm.
supposed to get that job done. You're supposed to be the best player in the league. You had this team because LeBron constructs his teams. It's legit GM. He's legit GM. He constructs his teams. The team he has this season, none of them people got signed without the green light from LeBron. I mean, that's just the facts. Um, and and they're down bad right now. So I mean, he's definitely not the GOAT. GOAT is still Michael Jordan. He is one of the best players ever, though. I don't think there's any debate about that. But
Hmm.
um, he definitely ain't no GOAT. You might differ from me, but that's how I feel about it. Brian ain't no
Okay.
GOAT. That's big cap. The big cap.
Big Cappy.
Big cap.
Big Cappy. Okay. For my answer, you had some solid points. And I'm glad that you said that Michael Jordan was the GOAT if it wasn't LeBron, because that's the only other answer to me. Some people may say Kareem, some people may say Kobe just because they just love Kobe. And
Yeah,
some people may say KD.
I don't know about that, but okay.
You know, but me personally, this is how I've been feeling for a while. I love LeBron. He just do some goofy stuff outside of basketball. That's plain and simple. Some people judge him for what he does outside of basketball, and that changes their whole mindset and image of LeBron. And I just look at LeBron as a hooper. Like Trump said, shut up and play basketball. He's a hooper. So I'm not gonna, people do dumb shit outside their jobs all the time. I know you can vouch for that. I can vouch for that. So I'm not gonna just change his whole legacy for what he did outside of basketball, what he said on Twitter. But when it comes to the GOAT conversation, I feel like it's Jordan and it's him. And LeBron's right here, but LeBron gotta get those championships to go either even with this man or above this man. But honestly, right now you got teams like the Bucks, teams like the Heat, and you got teams like Golden State that's making a return, and you got young teams like Phoenix that's getting, Chris Paul's help, and then you even got, a sleeper team to me. People may say the Jazz, but no, forget the Jazz. They choking the playoffs. Luca and them, the Mavs. I think the Mavs with Porzingis playing good is really good. So honestly, I don't got off subject, but LeBron, with him being a GOAT, I definitely believe that it's capped as of right now. Now, if something changes and AD becomes like injury and bulletproof, and Russell Westbrook starts to become Steph Curry and something like, then hey, LeBron might go down as the GOAT, but as of right now, it's big cap as of right now. But I mean, he got a little bit of time. Maybe Bronny can come and give him a championship, but I don't know. As of right now, I don't think LeBron's going to win ever again, and it might hurt his feelings, and he may just go ahead and retire.
I mean, like I said, I mean, I don't like LeBron as a person. I think that he showed his true colors for sure. I know you're gonna say he has a school and all that, but I don't even want to know what them kids is learning based upon what his beliefs are. But eh, like I
He said
said,
it is.
that aside, I'm not gonna take away the fact that he is definitely a great player, like one of the best ever. Like, there's no taking that away from him. Nobody can do that. But you know, if I could transition into mine, what I'm saying, get your thoughts on some statements I have. What do you think the fact that Captain, that's cool with you? Unless there's anything else you wanted to add.
Go ahead.
Okay. Hmm. Well, transitioning off the LeBron topic, as we know, he's about to turn 37. I mean, in the real world, that's not old. But in the NBA world, that's old and aging. However, he is still putting up huge numbers. It's just that you're seeing that he can't carry that load like he used to be able to do in Cleveland, and on the Heat, mostly on Cleveland because he has enough on the Heat. He has some better help on the Heat. Um, but my question is, well, I guess the statement, I guess it would be, shout out to the homie for this one because he kind of got me thinking. I should ask this. Is it cap or fact that the league is now KD's league, or is it somebody else's league, like possibly a Giannis or a Curry? Is it KD's league, or is it
Repeat that, please,
possibly
my brother.
okay? Is it KD's league, or possibly even Curry? Has LeBron's ship sailed? Is it now? Has he passed the torch? Has the torch been passed to either a KD or a Curry? You know, as the face of the league and best player. Is that cap or is that fact?
Shoot, hopefully you hear me and can hear this. But is it KD league or is it Curry league or is it Giannis league?
Well, essentially, has
Hmm.
the torch been passed on to somebody else? Has LeBron time passed? Is that cap or fact?
Oh, well, I'm gonna be honest with you. LeBron been consistent, but I think it's fact that the torch has been passed because Curry been going crazy, and I think Curry may actually stay healthy now. KD's KD. He's always been right there with LeBron. Giannis, came up these past few years. But I mean, obviously, I think Giannis is behind them too because, like, you know, honestly, if you need a bucket though, and like you need to get 3 points, maybe you could maybe go with Giannis if he can make a free throw. But I do think that LeBron passed the torch, definitely. So he's getting old. The time was gonna come, and I think he gave it to the right people. I mean, honestly, let's see, LeBron's 37, correct? So like, isn't Curry and KD like? Let's see, they're in
Curry
their
is
30s too.
33, and I believe KD might be around the same age.
Okay, so like they're around that same age. So 3 years from now, 3 seasons from now, they're gonna be where LeBron is. Are they gonna still be putting up numbers at that time? That's why I brought Giannis into the equation because Giannis is still in his 20s, ain't he?
Yeah,
So
Giannis is still in his 20s, and yeah, KD is 33.
yeah, so it's like I mean, you got people like Giannis that's still in the league that can take it over. I mean, Luka's definitely very young. Also, I mean, I could throw my Celtics boy in there too, Jason Tatum, if he learns how to be more of a playmaker rather than trying to be Kobe. But I
Yeah,
mean, that's just a story for a different day. That's him. But there's a lot of young talent that's gonna be taking over, and we're gonna be like, wow, this dude low key might get up there with LeBron. He just got to win him some championships and stuff. So I definitely agree with that statement. I believe that it's fact that LeBron has passed the torch.
okay. I mean, I have to definitely agree that it's a fact that LeBron has passed the torch. I know, as far as just the basketball world, when he retires, everybody's gonna be sad and things like that. But he's getting old. I mean, he's consistently putting up his numbers. I mean, there's nothing you can't take away from the fact that he's still putting up his numbers and everything. It's just that LeBron would actually probably be having a triple double if the people he passed to on his team could actually hit shots because he play makes still and everything like that. He's still like the best point guard on his team, even though there's a guy that is supposed to be the point guard. But you know, we'll we'll get into that maybe a little bit later or even another day. Um, but I mean, LeBron's averaging, I believe it was his career average. I mean, the man's was
27.
dropping like 30 and 30 almost every game. He's getting his boards, and his assist numbers could probably be higher, but they're obviously not because whenever he kicks it to an open player, they ain't hitting them shots. But
Brick ball. Brick
but I mean,
ball.
aside from LeBron being a great player, I definitely don't think he's the best, and I think the torch has been passed, and I don't think that he will be the best in the next 2, 3 years, however many years he decides to play. Um, I think that we got players like KD that's better than him. I think that Curry is obviously a better player than him at this point, and I could even say Giannis is a better player than him. So you know, is he top five? Maybe you could give him top five. I can see people. He's definitely top 10, but I can see people probably arguing other players in the top five other than LeBron, possibly, um, possibly. But for me, he's probably top five for me. But I could see possibly people arguing him out of there, possibly. Um,
Would he not be top 4?
well, for me, it would probably go KD, Curry, Giannis. Um, you know, you might have to put for me. I might have to put LeBron at that fourth spot. So,
That's what I'm
because
saying.
when I
Definitely top 4 because
because when I think about it, who's gonna put up those numbers that LeBron's putting up consistently on their own team?
nobody.
Nobody.
I was
I
like,
mean, I mean, honestly, like Luka could probably do that, but you know, yeah, I can't really
I
think
can
of
see
anybody.
Luca at 5.
Because I mean, yeah, Luka's really a dog. Like he's still super young. Like I hope that the Mavs keep that little core together that they got because they really got a good team. I really had them beating the Clippers that one year when Porzingis went down with a knee injury, but I think that that's what blew it. And then Porzingis thought he was Klay Thompson last year. I'm getting off topic though. We're gonna get into that whenever we get into possibly get into that when we get into the Christmas Day game. But I'm glad we both agree
Mhm.
on that one because you know, I thought you might go off the deep end and still think LeBron's the GOAT or something. But I'm glad you're in reality, not in that fantasy land like some other people. Um, but my second, let me transition to my second question. Second question is gonna be a little weird. I will admit that. It might throw you off a little bit, but I need to know: is it cap or fact that NBA YoungBoy does YB do it better? Is that cap or fact?
Do it better. What you mean?
I mean, everything I see posted on Instagram, like it's mainly on like academics page. Academics will post like a new song. He could
That's what
post somebody. He can post somebody, a female twerking. He could post somebody cooking, and they'll say Young Boy's music is better. They'll say Young Boy can twerk better. No, bro. They'll say Young Boy can cook better. YB does it better. That's all I see everywhere in the comments. So I gotta know: does YB do it better?
you know, these youngins that love young boy and say he do it better remind me of the old heads that say Biggie is a top 5 rapper.
Really?
And honestly, this may catch some heat. Young boy definitely better than Biggie, but I mean, I think Young Boy's solid. He probably young rappers and everything. He's one of the best, but He don't do it better because he don't do it better than Drake or Wayne. And I don't know if we talked about this last week or on the first podcast or not, but I'm gonna let it be known that like he ain't doing it better than the two goats, the main goat and the goat's son. I don't know what a baby goat is called, but that's what Drake is to Lil Wayne. And that's going to be set down and laid down and spoken throughout this whole process of this podcast. Young boy is great, but he don't do it better than them two. And there's probably some other rappers that I don't think he do it better than. But that's how I feel. So cap, cap,
Damn,
collect all profits.
that's crazy. Because there's gonna be a lot of people. There'll be a lot of people mad from hearing that. They probably put
They
in the
be
comments,
mad. I don't think
YB.
we got any middles.
They'll probably be in these comments talk about YB does the podcast better. Because anything that's posted, man, that's all I see. YB does better. I'm like, what the hell does that have to do with anything? But I definitely have to agree, man. YoungBoy does not do it better. I mean, he makes his own brand of music and everything. He does that. He does that. I mean, he's making money. Uh, I found it weird to find out he lives in Utah. Because I fuck with Utah. I've never been there, but just from the scenery and things, it looks very nice. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure they have cool people there. But YB, does he do it better? I think not. I mean, he might make better music than some people, but he ain't doing all these things better. And I don't know if you've seen those pictures of him wearing that makeup. That's also some comments I've seen. YB wears makeup better.
I I didn't see his picture specifically, but like I saw like a dude like making fun of like young boy fans, and he had on the makeup. I forgot what the dude name was. I follow him on Instagram. He like a some skinny dude, but he made it funny. And you just put me on because I ain't know young boy wore makeup. I heard young boy got like something with him and Kodak or something, and that's what it had to do with like the dark makeup or something. I don't know. I ain't never seen Kodak wear makeup, so I'm trying to figure out why.
Nah, Kodak. I don't think Kodak's into that. But YoungBoy is. I think I heard the clip of him on Clubhouse with academics, and he said that he thinks that's cool. He think I think something about about him being a rock star or something. It just makes him feel like a rock star or something like that. Because you know how some of the old school rock people, I don't know if they do it in the modern day rock, but they will wear makeup and things like that, like Kiss,
Yeah, I know
um,
that.
and all that. Yeah, like he said, that's what it makes him feel like. I'm pretty sure. I'm not quoting him 100%, but that's paraphrasing. Pretty sure that's what he said. Which seeing him in makeup pretty scary, but you know, not a sight, not a sight to see. But hey, it is what it is. I'm not gonna judge, man. If he happy, he's happy. It's not my place to judge him.
Only God.
Exactly. I'll let him do him. But I'll keep my face makeupless. Um. So yeah, I I think we both agreed on that one too.
No,
So
definitely so.
we already rounded off the NFL. The overall totality of the season, all the teams and everything. Went over a little bit of Christmas Day stuff, and I think it's best that we just finish this off with the NBA games on Christmas. Because I'll be the first one to admit I thought they were going to be lame because a lot of the stars being out from COVID, but
Hmm.
they turned out to be a bit better than I anticipated. So what was the first game of the day? I believe it was the
Knicks.
the Knicks and the Hawks. And honestly, I was like, oh, I'm gonna be able to see Trey Young give the Knicks buckets because that's one of my favorite players. And COVID, pretty sure it was COVID protocol he was in, and he didn't play. I was
Hmm.
like, well, this sucks. Watched a little bit of the game, mainly caught the highlights. I believe that the Knicks definitely did their thing and beat the Hawks. Which
Definitely so.
is a pretty easy job when you don't have the best player on the floor. So, because we already seen what Trey Young can do in the playoffs, but What was your thoughts on that game, man? I don't know if you caught it. I don't know if you've seen any highlights. No, what was your thoughts?
Well, you know, when they were playing, for all you guys that don't know, I have a child. Y'all may have just heard him a few seconds ago in here trying to be a dinosaur. But I was actually spending time with him, opening presents and everything, and really giving him like the early portion of my day. Just go ahead and giving him that time because I knew I was gonna watch like the next 3 games for sure, since my team played, and then some matchups I wanted to see were about to go down and everything. So I didn't catch the Knicks game until the end of the game when Obi Toppin went between the legs and dumped it, and I saw the score, and I was like, "Oh, well, I'm glad I didn't watch it and wake up because I'm pretty sure the game came on at 11 my time, and I didn't watch it because I was spending time with family. But the next few games, I definitely did watch. It's kind of funny because I watched the middle games, but didn't watch the first game. I only watched like maybe a quarter of the last game. So I'm glad that you watched the first game and everything because I know that's the one that you definitely caught more of than any of the other ones, maybe. So I do apologize for not watching that game, but I knew that Trey Young wasn't playing because he's on my fantasy team. So like, I didn't want to watch it because like Julius Randle, who's also on my team, has been very, very underwhelming to me because he was going crazy last year, and it seems like this year with a semi better team, it's like he kind of like fell off. He can't shoot threes no more. He turning the ball over, so I just didn't have time to watch that game. If it was the same teams from last year and Julius Randle was hooping, I probably would have watched it. But he ain't been like that this season, so it's not much I can do when I can't be entertained. So yeah.
I mean, for me, I didn't fully watch the game. Watch a little bit of it. I watched a little bit. I tried to watch a little bit of all the games. I definitely
Mm.
didn't catch the Jazz game at the end versus the Mavs. But I did watch the highlights of this game. Because I did want to see because I heard Kemba Walker had a triple double, and in fact he did. You know, so he had 10 points, 10 rebounds, and 12 assists. That's
That's
that
cute.
that that that's his, I believe, third triple double of his career. Um, I don't know why he wasn't hooping like this on the Celtics, although it doesn't seem like anybody really that goes from the Celtics to another team was was hooping on the Celtics when they play better on the team that they go to. For example, Evan Fournier. Evan Fournier, the man is damn near a sniper. So he didn't do any of what he's doing on the Knicks, I feel like, for the Celtics. But I also wanted to highlight, talk about Julius Randle. Julius Randle had 25 points, 12 boards. Julius Randle he be dishing out an assist sometimes because I put him on my parlays and things. He always clears for me on parlays. Um, he's not the best 3-point shooter, but he's up there working with Chris Brickley, and I know Chris Brickley is getting these people right. He's obviously gotten Julius Randle right because Julius Randle has been a way better player. I mean, with his player development, it just makes you think like, what if the Lakers have held on to him? What if, But and I want to shout out RJ Barrett too because RJ Barrett, he didn't have the best game, but RJ Barrett is definitely playing better, and he's clearly getting better as a player. You know,
Definitely
from
so.
the from the Atlanta Hawks side, of course you're gonna have John Collins getting shit done with 20 points. You can always count on John Collins. DeLon Wright's pretty nice too. He had 20, and I would definitely want to see more Cam Reddish, and I'm glad that they're giving him more minutes. Um, but overall, I don't think that anybody expected the Hawks to win this game. But it was nice to see. I think the overall uh, synopsis of what we're going to be talking about is the fact that I think that the NBA and NFL needs to lighten their COVID protocols because I mean if they're going to sit out here and promote this, they're going to promote the jab. You know what I'm saying? Trying to mince my words for YouTube. We're not doctors, by the way. You know, you want to know about any of all that stuff, consult with your medical provider. We're not doctors. We just stay in our opinion. Um, I just I think that they're 97% jabbed up. Everybody got it, damn near. And I think the NFL is 95%. So I think if this jab really works, I think y'all are good, man. Like, let the players play because I know they want to. Because after the LeBron meme, I think I said a lot. But I mean, the Knicks blew out the Hawks, and that's just is what it is. So I think we're going to transition to the Bucks for the Celtics. So that was the next game on the schedule, with the Bucks beating the Celtics 117-113. And this is a game that I caught a little bit of, but I'll be honest, I cut it off because this was probably the game I caught the most of. Was I cut it off and I was like, you know what? Looks like to me the Celtics are probably going to win because really looked like the Bucks was playing catch up the whole time. And I know this is your team, so I want to let you take the floor on this one as well. First off, I want to hear your thoughts. This is your squad, the Celtics. What happened?
Oh, I mean, plain and simple, Celtics played a pretty good game for the first, let's see, first two quarters and half of the third quarter. They were up by 19 at one point, and they simply just really started taking bad shots, turnovers, and Giannis was a little bit in foul trouble late in the third quarter and everything, but then he's just started going crazy and everything. And simply put, the Bucks started picking up their defense and getting steals, and the Celtics were trying to play hero ball, and they lost the lead. They lost the game. Really, not much to say. I mean, it's pretty much something that like the Celtics been dealing with all season. They'll play great for one of the halves, first half, or they'll play great in the second half. And sometimes it's too late to come back in the second half, and then in the first half you play great, and then come out, and it's suddenly like Jason Tatum wants to take four sidestep threes back to back and brick them, and the other team goes down there and makes three threes and gets fouled on one play, and then makes a two on another play. And I mean, they go on a little run. So right now the Celtics are dealing with a definitely a chemistry thing, and I mean you can't really blame it on Kobe because even with the team fully healthy, they still do the same thing. They take turns going ISO, ball to Jalen Brown and everything. He's gonna do his thing. True enough, they both can score, him and Jason Tatum, but it's like they have to work together, get each other open. Just how like them boys like how Harden can do for KD and Kyrie, and how Drew Holiday does for Giannis, and heck, when LeBron tries to help AD get buckets and AD dodges the physicality. So it's like right now somebody's gonna have to be traded, plain and simple, because the Jalen's are not working together right now. And I know they're not gonna give up Jason Tatum. And honestly, people call me crazy, but I like Tatum, but I don't like Tatum's mindset when he gets on the court. Tatum's thinking about him and his buckets and his rebounds and sometimes his assists. I know the man wants to win. I can't say he don't want to win, but it's like his shot selection in crucial times sometimes really do kill the Celtics because he'll come down the court, shoot a sidestep three with 20 seconds left on the shot clock. And that's not a good play unless you green it. And sometimes, even if you do green being the shot, it may not be a good play. It may not be a good shot, but you just got lucky it made it. So, I'm pretty sure sometime over the next few months, the Celtics going to put in a package to trade away Jalen Brown because it's not working. We got the same record as the Lakers, and I thought that the Lakers and the Celtics supposed to be two of the greatest, organizations. But obviously, right now we both got. I mean, can't really say much about like we finna talk about the Lakers and everything, so I'm gonna hold off on that. But right now, simply Celtics just ain't getting the job done with the team they have. They got no bench, and the starters can't play together. And Marcus Smart is the starting point guard. The starting point guard. They depend on this man to get 6 assists during the game, bro. Expecting him to get everybody open. And I just don't like that. I think he needs to be a bench dude that comes out the bench or play the two, maybe. I don't know. But no, he does not need to be a point guard. I've been saying that ever since they said, oh, yeah, we're getting Kemba's leaving. Kyrie's leaving. Scary Terry's gone. We ended up with Marcus Smart as our point guard. And yeah, we got Dennis Schroeder. But I mean, heck, him and Marcus Smart need to come off the bench together so Marcus Smart can take care of them that defense that apparently Schroeder don't play, which every time I see him play, he be getting steals. So that narrative need to be killed. They need to put Marcus Smart on the bench. I don't care if you've been with the Celtics for the longest. He's not a point guard. I would definitely trust Dennis Schroeder to be out there and get his buckets and get Tatum and them open better than Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart gonna play great defense. He gonna break a few threes, make a few threes. You know, it's kind of like hit or miss with him. I don't like him as a starting NBA point guard at all, at all. So I mean, that's how I feel. Celtics choke straight up.
Well, I think I have to agree with you on that. I think the Celtics did choke. Jason Tatum, I think that he's probably gonna be the next Kobe. I know that you were calling Devin Booker Kobe Booker, all this. I mean, I think that the Celtics need to get him, a better squad around him in order for them to, just rise as the overall team. They also I feel like need to think about, if y'all think y'all's team is solid right now, y'all need to think about y'all's brand of basketball. Because I mean, I think the Warriors, which we'll get into later, in a few, I think they're playing the best brand of basketball. That's why they're having so much success. Sharing that ball is a key. Tatum obviously at his points, he had 25. Jalen Brown at 25 and Marcus Smart at 19. They still didn't get the job done. My dog Jabari Parker, his busted knees. He was going crazy late. He smacked some threes, got an and one. So I was like, if Jabari Parker is out here giving these boys buckets, I was like, you know what? They'll probably, sell off probably a 10-point dub. It might be a little closer, but no. Let's cut it off. But I had to watch some highlights and I saw that Giannis really put the team on his back. Came back and the man dropped 36. Man dropped 36. And although I know he can't shoot free throws as well, I know that his jumper, I can say it for a fact, has gotten a lot better. Because I had Giannis on a parlay and I put money on him to hit smack a three. And that man smacked a three. So, and he's pulling that with confidence. And Giannis is the perfect example of why Ben Simmons should have a jumper. But that's neither here nor there. Because I watched some highlights, man. He was pulling up, hitting a little turnaround mid range, all that. Does he hit it consistently? Maybe not, but man, it's there, and he'll really take it. Definitely needs to work on his free throws, but Giannis is clearly in the gym, and I know he'll get it right. He'll get it right. And I like the pickup of Grayson Allen by the Bucks as well. Grayson Allen's a sniper, and I think it was an L for Memphis to get rid of him, to let him go like that. DiVincenzo, obviously, he's a good role player for the Bucks. And Chris Middleton. Chris Middleton is, that guy that'll just go off for you one night and the next night he'll have 10 points. And it's about he has 17. You know what I'm saying? He had a decent game, but by Chris Middleton standards, probably not the best. And they got Boogie. I'm glad to see Boogie back on the team. Boogie has been through it. Let's just say that. All the injuries and everything and all the different teams he was at. I'm glad to see Boogie on the team. And a title contender at that. Because I like Boogie, but Boogie's just gonna be Boogie. He's not gonna be the Boogie of old times before the injuries. But, it is what it is. I think the Celtics definitely choked though. They definitely choked this game. And true enough, matter of fact, did y'all have y'all's best player? Well, second best player out there, Grant Williams.
All right, so like we can talk about this outside the podcast. We can troll and joke around and say like, oh yeah, he's the best player, but bro, this is cap control. We cannot be on here. You making me look bad
Second
saying
best.
y'all best player. He's not second best. He's not third best. He's not fourth best. He's not fifth best. Our whole starting lineup is better than Grant Williams. The only reason why Grant Williams plays for the Celtics is because the man, he'll rebound, he'll play hard, he'll fight somebody for a teammate, and he has a really good basketball IQ.
He has some solid defense, bro.
Yes, he has solid defense from time to time when
Maybe
he's not
smacking
far.
threes. this
But
season.
we're just gonna go ahead and move on to the next game because we're not gonna go into this grand stuff. So the next game was who, bro? The
It
Lakers
was the
versus who?
Warriors, the Warriors versus Suns.
All right, Warriors versus Suns. I thought it was Lakers, but I forgot the Lakers played after that.
I know you think about LeBron, bro, but
Yeah, I'm ready to
he's
talk
coming up
about that.
next.
The Warriors, and the Warriors versus Suns. I really don't have much to say about that game due to the fact that it was a great game. Everybody who played in that game played good. Draymond, Steph, anybody who didn't have COVID played good. Chris Paul was doing good. I mean, shoot, Devin Booker did his thing. Mikal Bridges smacking his threes, playing defense. So, I mean, it was pretty much what you thought you would get from both teams, and it was a good game. Came down pretty much to the end. So, I mean, truthfully, that's all I have to say about that. So, what do you think about that one?
I mean, you wanted to get it out of the way real quick. I just feel like there's some things we need to touch on here, such as this will probably be the matchup coming out the West, man. Because the Lakers are ass. Everybody had them as a lock to get the championship and all that. Obviously, that didn't pan out. We'll get into that next, though. I personally, I think you can vouch for me. I said, man, the Warriors, that might be coming out the West. And as the days go by, I'm liking that pick even more. And I'm thinking that if it's not the Warriors, it can only be the Suns. Because, if it comes down to this being a matchup in the Western Conference Finals, I think that this possibly could go 7 games. Because these teams are very good and the teams as a whole, they play very well together. And really who locked it up at the end was Otto Porter. He was just hitting everything at the end. I think he had 13 in the fourth, and Curry, Curry, as great as Curry is, Curry's like, hey, he got the hot hand, he'll give it to him. Because Curry, he had 33. They just play great team basketball. The Warriors do. And as far as the Phoenix Suns, I think the nucleus of that whole thing they got going on there is really Chris Paul. Chris Paul's, I think, just point guard, floor general, Chris Paul's the best in the league. And the way he's really turned around that franchise is really nice to see. And I'm definitely looking forward to that matchup in the playoffs because I believe it'll happen sooner rather than later. We'll just have to see the seeding and all that, but I'm sure it'll happen. Yeah, we got a great game out of that one. That was probably the best game all day, 100%. So I don't think there's much to say about that. I think we just move on to the second to last game of the day. Because I think the last game, we'll get into it, but I'll just be honest, didn't watch. So the next game was the Nets versus the Lakers, and I think we were both disappointed to see that Kyrie didn't play because they already hold the man. There was rumors he was going to come back.
He was coming back.
He was coming back, and then they said COVID protocol, and he's been in that ever since. And also Kevin Durant did not play. I think we were both disappointed by that.
Very so. Now I was disappointed about that. I knew Kyrie was gonna play, but KD last minute before Christmas Day, that hurt.
Because we had the hopes up, bro. They were like, if he tests negative, he could play, and then he came back, they tested positive. So, but this was the game. This was the second to last game. The Lakers obviously lost 122 to 115, and LeBron got dunked on. I think that was the highlight of the game. But what did you think about this one? Did you watch the whole game? Did you catch the highlights? What's your synopsis?
On Christmas Day, bro, I literally watched all of the Warriors versus the Suns, and I watched all the Lakers versus Nets, and I also watched all the Celtics versus Bucks games, except like the first quarter of the Celtics game. So I caught all the games. Like I told you earlier, I caught the middle 3 games. Didn't catch the first one until like the last few minutes, and then I only watched like the first quarter of the last game. But when I watched this game, I admit I saw some people, on social media showing their parlays for the game before the game even started, and they had James Harden going under like 25 points. and there was others that was going under 20. And honestly, I knew KD wasn't playing, and I knew it was gonna be James Harden and the Patty Mills show. So I already knew what was up, and that's strictly what it was. James Harden, what was it? James Harden scored. Was did he score like 30 something? And
36,
Patty Mills 36, and Patty Mills scored 36, but Patty Mills scored
34.
36. He scored 34, 36 or whatever. Had zero turnovers and had like 6 assists. Was hooping. Patty Mills could not miss nothing. And he was diming people up. It was like LeBron and Westbrook and all of them was just getting shook up. And it was just sad. So I mean, I was surprised that the Lakers was getting whooped at one point. I'm glad that they came back because if they would have got whooped by James Harden and Patty Mills by like over 15 points, I would have been disappointed. But they made a little push towards the end, and I mean everything was all right. And I mean they tried. You know, they can make the excuse we didn't have AD, but I mean, shoot, AD probably would have got dunked on by Claxton instead of LeBron. So plain and simple, the Lakers are not it, and I'm surprised because when you think about it, ask us years ago, um, man, the Lakers got LeBron, Carmelo, Westbrook, Trevor Ariza. Let's trying to see who else they got on the little squad. Dwight Howard, DeAndre Jordan. I'm trying to see who else is on that team that's old that would, that was decent back in the day. But those main six right there, like you would think, oh, they're over the top. And we just got news that KD, Kyrie Irving, and LaMarcus Aldridge just cleared COVID protocol. It just popped up on my phone, which is crazy.
Yeah, it did. There we go.
So,
There we go.
yep, yes, sir, yes, sir. I cannot wait. I told y'all last week, Kyrie's my favorite player, but bro, how do you feel about that Nets versus Lakers game? I don't know how much you watch, but how you feel?
I mean, I didn't watch a whole lot of it, like I said, but I did make sure I watched the highlights. I'm honestly I was a bit surprised that the Nets did pull off the dub, but seeing how it was done, honestly, it didn't surprise me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like you said, James Harden went off for 36. I don't know who those people were to put him on a parlay getting under. They're insane because when it comes down to it, if they really wanted to win the game, they really wanted to show out for Christmas. Who are they gonna have to have? They don't have KD. They don't have Kyrie. So who's going to be their main source of offense? It's going to be James Harden, and you already know
Mm-hmm.
James Harden's good for 8+ assists. You already know he's going to create. And Patty Mills, I knew Patty Mills was going to go off, man. Patty Mills has been going crazy. That was a great pickup for the Nets, man. The man's had 34. And it looked like he couldn't miss out there from three, but it
He
always looks
couldn't.
like that. It always looks like that. It even looked like that on the damn on the Spurs. But a shout out to Patty Mills, shout out to James Harden. They got the job done. And also, quick shout out to Bruce Brown, man, because he's really one of them players that you want to have on your team. He's that hustle guy. Set screens, grab rebounds, putbacks, all of the above. Cuts, all of that. So shout out to Bruce Brown. He's been doing it. Um, but with a COVID ridden squad, like not their main players, the Nets got it done. LeBron, 39 points, 9 boards, 7 assists.
I know he
You know,
tried.
I know LeBron's back hurts from carrying that whole squad to 115 points, but
Right.
that's just what he has to do. And you said you were surprised that you see the Lakers doing so bad this season. I'm not because although they signed all those big names, they old. They signed a bunch of aging superstars. And I mean, Russell, he still has that spark. He can still go crazy, fast, all the above. But at the same time, the man just creates turnovers like crazy, and he just throws up bricks. And I've been one of the biggest Russell supporters for the longest, but it's getting really hard to defend this man. Like, I mean, he had a negative 23 plus minus when he was on the floor. You know what I'm saying? It's just, you know, he I don't want to bring up what Carl Anthony Towns said, but I mean, Carl Anthony Towns said he's chasing stats, but I feel like there's a lot of players just like that in the league. Hell, Karl Anthony Towns probably chases stats his damn self. Um, especially with Draymond's response. I don't know if you saw that clip, but um, essentially, I just feel like the Lakers aren't really surprising me because I mean, when it comes to old players and things like that, obviously in the real world, me in your 30s, almost cracking your 40s, that's not old. At least in my opinion, that's not old.
Hmm.
However, this is basketball. This is sports, and that's just getting up there. And I know a lot of these players have a lot of miles on their legs and feet. So I'm honestly not surprised. They even signed Darren Collins or Darren Collison. They signed Darren
Yeah,
Collison.
they down
But
bad if they did that.
and it looks like I didn't even know this, but Rondo didn't play. Isaiah Thomas didn't play. So hey, that's I think that was probably the last name we were missing is Rondo. But Rondo's not gonna. Rondo is a good floor general though. I would like what I would get from Rondo. He's a good player to have on the team as long as he can get along with everybody on the team, and as long as he can get right with the coach, get along there. But yeah, I was actually kind of surprised that the Nets won, but when I saw how it happened, wasn't surprised by that. Shout out to Claxton, dunking on LeBron. You know,
Yeah, that was definitely hilarious how he did LeBron. Even though it wasn't really like a dunk with hands on the rim, I mean, still, like the fact that he was up there and then just got it in, and LeBron was almost like he was on a poster, but it wasn't like the ideal poster that you would think that man would have
yeah, it
put him
was
on.
one of those where he caught the ball, but it was too far, so he just threw it in. He didn't really grab around.
Yeah, LeBron
You
would have
know,
fell if he really dunked it and threw it in. Like I'm talking like, ooh, hey, hang on the rim, LeBron on the ground, you
I know,
groove.
but for that, I just feel like LeBron is too damn big, too damn strong for Claxton to move him out the way. Because
Definitely
Claxton's
so.
his arms were just long enough for him to grab that and just throw it in. Because he
Yeah.
wasn't moving LeBron nowhere. Um,
Shoot. So either jump over the man. Shoot.
yeah, but hey, it is what it is. Lakers another L, and you know it's looking like who knows if they'll even make the playoffs. But hey, it is what it is. Le GM put the team together, and you reap what you sow. That's what they say. Um, but moving into this last game, I'll be honest, I didn't watch. I'm gonna look over the box score right here. I have pulled up. And also I'm gonna look at the Jazz box score. I did think that the Jazz were gonna win, although going into this because I believe Luca was out. Um, was he in COVID protocol? I think that's what it was, unless he's injured. I'm not sure. However, because they didn't have Luca, I figure, hey, the Mavs might take this L. Because the Jazz aren't a bad team, especially during the regular season. They always hoop. They always get the job done. They get their jobs. They have a good record, and they usually just blow it in the playoffs. Um. So yeah, looks like the Jazz won 120 to 116. Let's see here. Do you want to say anything about this game? Because I didn't watch. I'm just gonna look over box score if you want to talk.
Shoot,
Um.
bro. I was like, that game was quite boring whenever I was watching it. So I ain't taking no notes. I always take mental notes on the games on what I have to say before the podcast. But that game, I just knew I wasn't gonna really say much. Like I watched a little bit of it. All I know is that Donovan Mitchell like started off the game horrible, and then somehow he ended up with 30 something points. I'm talking the man is like 0 for 6, and then gets
Oh yeah,
30
he has
something.
33.
So exactly, bro. So I mean that's really only thing I really caught from the game. I had watched 3 full games before that, and at that point I was tired from Christmas Day and just wanted to go to bed and everything. So that is how that game went for me.
Okay. Well, it looks like for the Mavs, Porzingis 27. Oh, Jalen Brunson had 27. See, Jalen
Yeah,
Brunson, man, I feel like he's a nice little bucket, but He's just inconsistent. Because I mean, I've had him on a parlay before. Because I was like, you know what, this man be getting buckets sometimes. I feel like more often than not he be getting buckets. He's a nice little role player for them. And another player that I feel like needs to be more consistent is like Tim Hardaway Jr. Because I know that he has a strap as well. But yeah, he had 27, 6 assists. Okay. I mean, like I said, I'm just gonna look over this box score because I honestly didn't catch the game. Uh, I don't know if I was in Sevierville or what, up there in the mountains. But Bogdanovich, 25, Donovan Mitchell, 14% from three. He had 33. He usually takes a lot of threes. So if he missed majority of them, that percentage makes sense. Rudy Gobert, as Flight would say, 10 points. He grabbed his 11 boards. He's always good for 10 plus boards. Royce O'Neal, he only had 3 points, which was a bit surprising because he's a bit of a sniper. I'm not gonna lie, especially at home. Him and Joe Ingles be going crazy at home. Jordan Clarkson, he probably did a little something, little 12 points. Okay. But I mean, overall, I don't think either of us really caught this game. I mean, you caught a little bit of it. Obviously, I didn't catch none of it. But am I surprised that the Jazz won? Not at all. They didn't have Luca, and it was only a 4-point dub from the Jazz. So honestly, if the Mavs would have had Luca, they would have definitely had a shot to win that game because Luca obviously was always coming in for the clutch for them. Um, I think that to round that off, I think we cover all those games. Continue to cover the NBA games, throughout the season, and into the playoffs. Um, and have our predictions and everything like that. Um, for the East and the West, of course, as well as football. We'll definitely dive into college and football and basketball as well. Obviously, we got the college football or college basketball season. I'm sorry, going on right now. So my boys, my boys were supposed to play Clemson yesterday, but I think it got postponed due to COVID. Shit was tragic, you know. But I guess that's the world we're gonna have to live in until these rules get changed, man. Because at some point, I just feel like we're gonna have to start living life normally. COVID's gonna be with us, just like the flu, you know. But
Yeah, forever.
I mean, to wrap up this episode, you have your capper of the day or cap of the day. You know,
Uh,
have you
yes,
heard something out
sir.
there?
I have my cappers with an
Oh,
S
so there's
of the
a few
day.
people.
It's a few people, a group of people, a lot of people, everybody,
Okay,
Twitter people, Instagram people. And my cappers of the day is the people and the analysts and the commentators and the coaches and the ex-coaches that say they're Russell Westbrook stat pads or stat chases. And listen to me now, my boy, because I have my reasons on why they're cappers and why I feel this way. Because you're talking to somebody who, in a way, whenever I hoop, I play similar to the man. Russell Westbrook gives his all when he goes out to the court. And I know, like, yeah, you can say Jordan gives his all and all this and everything, and they do this and that, blah, blah, blah. But the one thing about it, I don't think the man is stat padding or stat chasing due to the fact that he's just trying hard. Because I know me personally, when I go on the court, bro, I'm trying to get as many assists as I can to help the team win, get as many rebounds as I can to help the team win, and shoot as many threes and get as many points as I can to help the team win. I don't see the point of trying hard. Yeah, he turns the ball over. Maybe too much. Definitely too much. Not even no maybe. Definitely too much. But y'all not looking at how hard the man really tries. And I mean, turnovers can be fixed. He also needs some help because he really ain't got no shooter on that team to throw the ball to when you think about it. I mean, maybe the best shooter on the team is LeBron. And I mean, is LeBron really that great of a 3-point shooter? Like, and I don't want to hear no Wayne Ellington or Malik Monk or Trevor Ariza or like
I was thinking Carmelo.
Carmelo.
Yeah, probably the best 3-point shooter.
Yeah, I mean, if his knees right that game, bro, because I've seen Carmelo do decent. Like Carmelo shoots a bunch of threes and will brick them too.
I know,
That's
but
the thing.
it's slim pickings on the damn Lakers, man.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm
But
just
I agree with Lamelo. I mean, not Lamelo, but Carmelo. Carmelo is definitely probably the best 3-point shooter on that team, and it's sad that how old is he? Like 36. He's up there with LeBron and everything. So it's like you depend on this to be your best 3-point shooter. Definitely
but
so.
overall, it sounded like you was just taking a shot at everybody saying that Russell Stapp had. Because I mean, I don't know if you saw that video of Karl Anthony Towns. Um, I'm gonna paraphrase, but the man, I think it was Aiden Ross. You know, I don't know how he got so popular himself, having all these people on his streams and all that. Probably because of Bronny. But yeah, he had Karl Anthony Towns. And he said, "Hey man, you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but what do you think? Does Russell Westbrook stat pad? Does he chase stats?" And he said, "Yeah." So I mean, he didn't run from the question. He straight up said, "Yeah." And then if you look at Draymond's response, I don't know if anybody's seen that. Draymond definitely responded to that, and then it basically seemed like he was saying that, "Hey man, you do the same thing. So I don't want to hear you saying nothing about it. I seen you on the bench in the game, 2 minutes to go, down 20. Who was whooping y'all's ass? You was still in the game, trying to get some stats." So you know, I feel like is Russell stat padding? Is he stat chasing? For me, from my perspective, I mean, I get what you were saying, but I feel like I might fall into the category of people you just called out. Because I mean, I tend to think he might be. But at the same time, like Karl Anthony Towns said, it is very hard to get the triple double, bro. Especially at the point guard position. He's usually the smallest person on the floor. Usually. So, I'm taking nothing away from the fact that Russell Westbrook plays super hard, super aggressive every night. I feel like if you get tickets to a game that Russell Westbrook's playing in, he's not going to treat you. He's not going to cheat you out your money at all. Like he's going to give you his 100% effort,
Exactly.
and that's the part that I admire about him. That's why I've been defending him for years. Even though he obviously hasn't played the best, but I admire that. So, I mean, did you have anything else you wanted to add to that, or
No, man. I I've said what I had to say. They're still the cappers of the day for this second episode. But before we leave and everything, I do want to say, man, shout out to the homies and everybody who shouted us out on that first podcast and everything, man. A big shout out to my homie Dro out there. Y'all definitely need to check out these Collect All Profits hats or
that is
shirts.
his clothing line, and it's definitely fire. It's on the come up, but it's fire. I promise you. I mean, who doesn't want to collect all the profits? Saying so, shout out to him. Shout out to Joe.
Sir.
And shout out, yeah, like my partner said, man. Shout out to everybody who shouted out the podcast. I even had people shout it out that I didn't ask them to or anything. They just did it all for love. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to y'all. I hope y'all keep rocking with us, and we'll keep coming with these episodes. We'll probably drop like 2 a week, because we usually record twice a week. And you know what I'm saying? I don't want to overwhelm y'all. Y'all at work, whatever you're doing, you got some chill time, you at work, you on the road, anything. You can listen to this, have this playing in the background. You know what I'm saying? Get with us in the comments. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Get with us in the comments. If you
Yes,
have any
sir.
rebuttals or anything, we're not afraid to hear those, read those, or anything. So, we always like to see other sides of the story, you know what I'm saying? Because obviously people might have some different thoughts. And also don't forget to share, you know what I'm saying? It always helps to share. But thank you. Thanks for the support. You know what I'm saying? It was nice to see. You'll love to see it. But with that being said, I think when we get up out of here, get on with our day. Um, it's been real. It's been good with another episode, second episode down with your brother. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Definitely so. It's been a good podcast, my guy.
It's been a good one. So with that being said, we out.